we just dropped into a conversation with Juliana Marcelo, and we're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. That was really impressive. I won't go through the rest of my story here, but 3 weeks later, we owned a lot. And
What a good salesman.
yeah, yes, it was very good. And a dance encounter on the Fort Lauderdale baggage claim with Liv and Kat, they were right there in front of the camera, changed my life. Because we had just flown home, kind of in a state of shock, but we were in a state of shock there. I was in a state of shock, and overall. And we turned to these nice people standing next to us, and we said, "Oh, what did you do on your Costa Rica vacation?" And Nick said, "We just got back from buying our lot at Ecovia San Mateo." And due to the wonders of, immigration and customs, we had an hour to kill and just trading contact info, WhatsApp, boom, here we all are. So I stand in front of you with great humility because if you got me a year ago, or specifically 11 months ago, and asked, "Oh, do you want to buy land in a foreign country?" the answer would be no. Now, would you have interest in building in a foreign country? What's less than no? That's where I was at. But quickly, the vision, overtook me. And not like pixie dust. I don't know how you feel, but like this is real and it's big money and it's smart people working really hard and it's unlike anything I've ever seen anywhere. And I've gone around and done a bunch of stuff for a long time. So that's why I feel very comfortable. At the same time, there's a lot of work to do, and through really networking through WhatsApp, all of that, it grew and grew and grew. And this idea of neighbors helping neighbors figure out how to build is what this is all about. So it's presented as a skill share, not as an expert share. Skill share means I might be half a step ahead, I might be half a step behind. I'm not saying anything that I'll be presenting is actually accurate or true. You have to do your own work. But directionally, it's way better than where we were a year ago when the early people didn't have any sense of anything. So I'm going to talk for a bit. The heart of it is to get your questions answered, but probably not by 3 o'clock. I think we go to 3 and not 3:30, if anybody has the schedule. The group that put together this festival really wanted it to be a taster. So tastes leave you dissatisfied. It's not the whole meal, but we have 3 days of sitting, talking, eating, dancing, and there's going to be more structure going forward, hopefully, really to get everything really grounded to the next level. So questions are highly welcome, but we might not get through them in the session itself, but we'll work on what the next steps are. Also speaking today, Jorge Zapata.
Hello everyone, my name is Jorge Zapata, I'm a Costa Rican. I am civil engineer and I am here for help with the project management of the project. Okay, so I will be leading the project team. That's what I do here. Some weeks ago, I make a presentation, virtual presentation, to maybe some of you already know me or saw me in the meeting, and I am here to give you more details about the project. I don't know if I'll start or
No. Just have Marlo
Okay.
introduce also. Just your role in the project.
Hello everyone. Good to see you. Good to see a lot of people right here. My name is Marlon Sanchez. I'm civil engineer too. I'm Costa Rican. I'm San Mateo. I'm from San Mateo. I'm born in San Mateo. Over that time when I told with people come to Ecovilla San Mateo, I'd say, okay, this is not project. This is a dream. It's a couple life that everyone is looking for. We're a group looking for that dream. Okay, I'm working so hard in this project. I will be for a long time, helping to everyone's on construction and everything. Okay, I'm here for all you. If you need any help from me, with the attention. Okay, Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Carla. I'm from Mexico City. And 20 years ago, I decided to come to live in Costa Rica, in the Costa Rican community. And 10 years ago, I was exactly in the same spot as you are now. Like with these eyes of surprise, um, fear, excitement, and about to jump into an adventure that you don't know how to do this now. And we took the leap, my family and I took the leap, and 10 years ago we built our house in the first day of Villar, and we've been living there for 10 years now. So we built a house, we know what it is like to connect with earth, connect with the people around, and then deal with the tropical architecture, which is kind of different. And so I'm here just to share my experience with you and to make an invitation for later to do a workshop in which we can really like talk about all the possible questions that you may have in your mind that I'm already seeing all the question marks all over the place. And the only thing that I want to say is like we're all here embracing the Pura Vida lifestyle. Pura Vida is reducing the pace, being present with whatever that's happening. And that's what we're gonna be talking in the I'm gonna make an invitation for you and I'm gonna talk about what is gonna be the content of the next workshop. Whenever Jean set up the date.
So that's how we'll spend the next hour. Um, there's a piece around building and construction, but there's also a piece around communication. Has anybody here had a little maybe irritation with Telegram or overwhelm with WhatsApp or frustration with the Zoom link you can't find? That would be 10 hands up. And I mean, I'll make an assumption. I know it's true for me. It's probably true for most. We live online, and everything's changed in the past few years, and it's amazing how we've come together. And it's kind of not the same as being in the cow barn sitting on straw bales. So we've been working a number of, and this is all volunteer. Juan opened up the space for the social lab, and in the past he's talked about the company as, I mean, it's a business and it's a real estate development, and that's a real thing. And the community, which is an emergent, but it's real. We're all here meeting each other. It's amazing. Coming together to support each other. So this is in the neighbors helping neighbors, but neighbors helping the company helping us. It's a synergistic expression, which is a way of saying, this is completely volunteer and everybody is welcome to participate. So you'll hear some point over the weekend, I think tomorrow morning, more about the social lab. What is it? Where is it? How does it work? How do I plug in? Things have been really moving quickly. It's been hard to keep up with everything. And I think we're at a place right at the moment where things will get clearer today and things will get clearer tomorrow. So that's just a little bit about who are these volunteers and what are they volunteering for and what are they working on. So one of the things is getting better at communication. How many people bought their lot, say, this year? Are there any brand new? 2024. No, 2024. Just right, recent. And how many just in the last 6 months, roughly? I mean, I'm just. So a lot of people a while ago, and then some people more recently. That doesn't matter though. Even if you bought a while ago, it doesn't mean you read anything or done anything. It's like we all need to get on boarded with all this stuff. So we put together a onboarding guide. And even where is the onboarding guide live? I have to show you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. So if you're not familiar with it, there's a community chat type activity going on an application called Telegram. So if you're not familiar with Telegram, find somebody, because most everybody's on it. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, you got to click through and the user interface can get kind of noisy, but it's kind of straightforward. And there are categories of topics, and there are amazing conversations going on. topics can be, you can create a topic. There's no central administration inside Telegram. We're trying to keep it related to the community, so maybe not all kinds of topics, but topics related to the community. I turned off notifications. I got sick of getting pinged all the time, and then some days I had blissful days where I don't even think about my Telegram, and I go for like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, oh yeah, let me click in, and there's like 20 chats or 50 chats, and it's amazing, like a super intense thing. But I can go through it in like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm done. It's fine. It's not my incessant checking on other days. But one of the times I logged on, there were like 3 new groups that weren't there the last time I had logged on really interesting things. So if you're not familiar with Telegram, I encourage you to participate if you want, right? This is the beauty of this is we are not I don't know what word to use, but we're all independent, sovereign people having our own path, and none of this is required or needed or expected. It's purely if you're called to do it. And there's a lot of good information. So starting like maybe today or very soon, is Anton here? I don't see. Yeah, we have one, I don't know what they're called, chats or threads, that's just for company announcements. And right now there haven't been any because the company doesn't have admin yet, but they'll get that today. So there's going to be one central place for you to keep up with announcements. In the past, the company has expressed some frustration because they're working so hard to get the message out on WhatsApp and on Telegram and on email, and they always get 2 or 3 people saying, "Oh, I didn't hear." So if you feel like you're not getting the kind of main marketing messages, make sure you're on the email list, and Telegram is where the announcements will be. WhatsApp is still very popular, everywhere and in Costa Rica, but just within the community itself, we had a community-wide WhatsApp channel, but it's still there, but it's not active. We haven't sunsetted it. It's just sitting there, but you'll see there's no new messages. All that's over on Telegram. Is that all? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Just to make sure. I was wearing my winter coat 2 days ago. It's getting hot. I don't know about you, but it's getting kind of hot in here. So, in the Telegram, right at the top, it says, "Read me first." This is the onboarding guide. If you click that, you will see this document. We used a convention in a couple of other places called "Read me first." And the way it works is if you click into a folder and you're not sure what's there, and there's a file that says "Read me first," what do? And it's usually very short. It's just simple little instructions, but the way the web interfaces are, it's not a website. You know what I'm saying? It's like Google Drive, just files. So it's just short instructions. So anytime you see a "Read me first," what do? And then it's going to open up to a bunch of links. So this is the onboarding journey document. And I'm just going to go through little bits of it. I'm not going to give you a whole presentation. If you haven't seen it, it's great. It's more to express the intent. But there is some critical information in here as well. So let's get going. Am I doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the work of another neighbor of all of ours who's not here, Peter Bressler, and he's kind of a nerdy coach and consultant like I am. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. He's super smart. And he's been watching all the stuff we've been doing, saying, "Oh, I want to participate." And one day he's like, "Hey, give me a download on what you've been doing." So I showed him, and like 2 days later, he sent me this document that was vastly better than anything that was there before. So credit goes to him, and he just wanted to put his own little story in, which I will not read here, but it's a very heartwarming story. So just the work of one person contributing. And we have a lot of questions. Some of you are kind of far along, and some of you literally set foot in Costa Rica for the first time yesterday. So we're a very diverse community. And a whole bunch of questions to be answered. So once again, I'm not giving you the whole presentation. I'm just giving you a little fire hose just to give you a sense of it. One of the interesting things is we are, I don't know if you're like me, I'm a little linear. a little more black and white. When Rosalita introduced the invisible structures, I was like, that's nice. And how deep in. Um, by way of saying that this is a little different than a lot of other things. So if you have worked in any kind of institutional, organizational, hierarchical structure, and say, well, the company's up here and I'm down here. And in a certain way, and in this moment in time, that actually is true, right? They have to do things, and then we give them money, and then they do other things, and our dream goes away. You know, it's I want to just be speaking to the, concerns and fear of a project of this magnitude. So that's all real. At the same time, much of this, not all of it, but much of this is a result of volunteers stepping forward to make stuff happen. And that's going to continue to happen. And then there's kind of the intersection or co-creation. And in a way, this panel today is more of a co-creation. I'm volunteering, Jorge is on staff. So we're just speaking to the fact that there's different timelines for different facets with different energies that might direct that. Does that make sense? Just a bit of a high level. So this is the money slide. It's big picture. I don't even know if Juan's seen it, honestly. Peter did it. But I think it will speak to broadly some sense of how things might go. So I want to really, I can't say it in clear enough terms. This is just somebody's idea based on what they've heard, but having done this before, spun up other HOAs and built communities. It's not just made up. So let's take a look. The company's building the infrastructure this year and building the common areas through this year. And Jorge is going to give us more detail. We don't have any plans yet, but it kind of makes sense that the company will still be around next year. Doing some kind of support, maybe HOA management, maybe architecture review, permaculture, we don't know. But there's some kind of ongoing company support. As far as I understand, you'll hear a little more tomorrow from the governance focus team. The details of how the HOAs are going to work haven't been worked out, at least as far as I know. I think we're going to hear more tomorrow, but maybe I'm a little behind, but I haven't heard how it's actually going to work. But there'll be a period of time where the company's doing things like making sure the roads are paved or plowed. And there'll be a period of time where the owners will be responsible for that. And there's probably going to be an interim period. So that's what that statement when it says interim HOA management. It's just a concept for now, but seems to make sense. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to sit in a committee and determine whether we're going to use salt water or chlorine in our swimming pool yet. But someone's going to have that meeting. The individual people are making our payments, and we're going to get a deed. We're going to build, and then we're going to live here for some or all of the time. So I think the individual residence track isn't all that controversial, but doesn't have that much new information. Other than what I wanted to speak to is, the timeline you'll hear from Jorge is some construction this year, but for a lot of people, it'll start next year. And we'll get into all that. And I don't know how long building takes, 6 months, 12 months, some period of time. So I might not be in my own dwelling till 2 years from now, right? And what are we going to do like this? There's only so much Zoom and WhatsApp I want to do, maybe quarterly meetings or who knows what. But it's going to be a very dynamic. And some people are, I've seen them. They're standing at the road with their pitchfork ready to walk on the land and begin building the instant they have their deed. And some people haven't even been here yet. It's all beautiful. So it's just going to be a very fluid space for, pick your time period, 2 or 3 years while a lot of things get sorted out. Then there's more the structural part of the community. This is the year for figuring stuff out, like the bylaws and HOAs are the two legal documents that we've signed up to be governed by, and much more of that to be done. There's active social and community initiatives to be now, like the stuff that we're doing. So that's going to continue ongoing. So I think that's enough. But that gives, is that helpful at all, or just kind of, because we're speaking to the fact that there's an interim period and who's going to do what and when is still to be created. Was there a hand? Oh, good. So that's just a high level. Let's keep going. Jorge's going to update. So even the onboarding document is out of date because it included these slides from a few weeks ago. Peter and I have to go in, take this out, put the new slides in. Not a big deal, but you see how keeping stuff updated really is a labor of love. Peter's a consultant, and we consultants love checklists. So as a consultant, I'm required to show a minimum of 3 checklists per presentation. This is your first. It's a good list. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but take a minute, just like, okay, where am I?
Could you read that for some people, please?
Sure. Plan for investment payments. The money part and the land and the timing of it. That's real money. Determine deed title naming. Some of you are coming in as a multifamily and is it an LLC and survivorship. I mean, you really need to have your legal track. Initial consideration of residence issues as it may impact title and deed. Timing for construction planning. Identify team, plan for construction costs. I am going to show you that in a minute. Explore how to get involved. And I'm very sympathetic to, it may not be easy to figure out how to get involved, right? You see this Zoom and that, what's going on here? And we're all busy in our lives at home, wherever that is. It's a little funky right now to figure out how do we keep the heartbeat of this space going once we scatter again. Yeah, so that's one. Continuing to go, build a team. There's a folder that says architects and builders. Oh, but wait, there's a read me first because now there's 2 dang folders. We started one a while ago that isn't really current. It's still there for archival purposes, but Juan and the company has done a huge job curating a list of people in the construction trades who are interested in this project. And so a number of those people are coming on Sunday. So Sunday, I think during the market itself, they will be exhibiting. So all the suppliers are going to be under this roof. And then from 2 to 4 p.m. Sunday, we're going to have a panel where 10 companies are going to stand up for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes and just, here's who we are, what we do. And then you may have met with them earlier, or you may just listen, but that's purely just, hi, we're here, we did this stuff. It's not any kind of detail. The companies on the official company list, and the folder says official company list, are companies either that have done work here or are known good suppliers, or they've been recommended by current neighbors of us who've had good results. So it's not an official, if any of you are familiar with development in America, a big developer will make the lots and pick 5 builders and you go to the what do you call the model home. It's not like that. So just to be clear, it's not like that. You have to do your own due diligence, but hopefully everyone on the list is solid. And if you're having a bad experience, we invite you to say so to help. We want to keep that list alive. Just since we made the list and since we made this, I'm now being contacted by architects and builders saying, can we get on that list? Which is good. I mean, we want to be in momentum. And at the same time, there's a sense of wanting to curate somehow without suppressing entrepreneurship? How do you strike a balance between curating for quality versus having it be the wild, wild west? And the answer in the short term is just communication. Let's all communicate with each other what's working, what's not working, and through community, we'll get it done. So that's the Architect and Builders Forum folder. So it says the word folder. What's a folder? Folder and files, Google Drive. So we have a separate platform just for archives. And many people use Google, so it's not that, you know, uh, hard to use. And it's just a place for information to reside in a folder structure. So it's good maybe go in there one time, read through it, just see what's there. It's not necessarily active all the time. Like it doesn't get updated all the time, but there are good resources. And that is where the list of all the builders, let's see, there's a link to a spreadsheet, and then the list that Juan and the company curated. In order to get on the list, you have to provide your portfolio and provide testimonials. So all of that is in one location. The second place to talk about building is the forum that's inside Telegram. And it's awesome. There's stuff I didn't know, and now I know I don't know about it, and other people are talking about it. And, you know, it can get kind of noisy. There's worry and anxiety, and what about this, what about that? And it's a space for that as well as, you know, kind of resource sharing. It's all of our humanity there. So I invite you, if you haven't been there and you're interested in the topic, to go into the construction forum. Do I want to? Oh, I can't help myself. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to open up. Honestly, we're doing links and the internet's slow. We'll go back. Yes.
Notes or?
This is all pinned in the Telegram, and it's located a couple of other places, so it's available.
For those of us that don't have Telegram yet, is it, how do we, once we click the app, how do we get access to? I got that. Yeah. Routine, like, got the same name. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the owl.
Yeah, and even that's a little weird because, you know, you might have a lot and you might be in another country, and maybe the sales team gave you the onboarding, maybe they didn't, but everybody, we're trying to get much more grounded with all that. So I would hope anybody who's a new lot owner, Vero's verifying, absolutely, you get a link to the info. I'm not going to go through all the checklists. There's a lot of them in here. I want to get to what a lot of people are interested in is how much is this all going to cost? And this is neighbor helping neighbor. This is not definitive. It may not be true for your case. Lauren and I don't know yet if it's true for our case, but it's what we're planning on going forward, and it's based on a lot of input, you know, from a lot of people. You know, the lot price and the investment contract, that's kind of seems to be pretty, you know what you're in for, I would assume. How are things going with sales? I mean, I'm quick to blah, but I see Julianne here, Marcelo. I mean, are you still seeing demand for people being interested in the project? Yeah, that.
Hello, hello. Hola. So, yes, we still seeing huge interest from people from all over the world. I just finished another webinar that I gave, and it's amazing how like people keep hearing and from you guys from somewhere, and they still get interest. So many people are looking to change their life, connect with nature, connect with community, and as well, like it's all this thing of the dream and the idea to the reality, and how many times as well. I was the first one to move in Korea, and I remember some friends, very close friends, that they would see the community through a chat. They would get very scared because it's a very different reality. What happened in a social platform and what happened in reality, and people sometimes they put their emotions or their bad mood or something in there, and everybody feels it's what's happening. And I just got super happy out of a beautiful webinar and everything that is happening. And Vero comes, he said, please come. And he said, show me a message from one of our neighbors saying a friend from San Mateo told her that the project is getting canceled. And it's not the first time I hear that. I'm like, where do these people? I said, I really want to get to the bottom. Like, really, where is crazy things come. But imagine if you're away and suddenly somebody tells you all the things that you put or anything. This is not happening. This is canceled. This is like they would never get the permits. They have lawsuits. As somebody told me a few weeks ago that they've been told that we have many lawsuits because we did an environmental damage and so many times this happens and it's we are really in an amazing position. We had the land uh, where we purchased, and the guy for a tax purposes didn't want all the money at once, and we paid in a part, and we a few weeks ago we had to cancel the full amount. Everything was paid. We have the land free and clear. We have no debts, no things. Those like sales are good. Like really, we have a solid team, and you can rest assured we are doing everything in our power to do it as fast as possible and deliver everything as soon as possible. It would be important that I don't know how to transmit that in the in the social media, so like in the Telegram or this or that, but these fear effects keep going and rippling, and they can affect, like one rotten apple, they say can ruin all the rest. It can really happen and drive very beautiful people or anything into fear, into things and not really knowing what's going on. So it's important that if you are here or anything that you experience, that you can as well transmit that and tell them, guys, things are moving, permits are moving, construction will be moving, eh, and yeah, we build it together. But in the moment that everyone studying the fear effect, and that made it like these rumors of the economy that was gonna go bad or something in Argentina made it that all the people started pulling away the money from the bank. Suddenly the bank says and we cannot do more money, the economy collapsed, and it was a big mess. And it all started with a rumor. So it's really important to know things keep moving, things keep selling. We have constant people coming over to look at their lots and be part of this community, and we will sell out very soon, and we will get this project up and running and make a beautiful, incredible community between all of us.
So lots are selling. The lot map's probably um, out of date. I didn't look at that link, but early on we looked every week and we updated did it. So what sold? I mean, we were just deep in a rabbit hole then. Glad to be out of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something that is important. So you put a question I want to answer. We have 28% of lot available in this moment, just to be very clear. But I want to go beyond that question. Why is important that question for you?
Some projects fail to launch if they don't get a critical mass. And so partly it's just tracking that. And partly it's assessing the general attractive. Am I crazy? I just want to know if I'm crazy. If it's selling out, maybe I'm not so crazy. But it's kind of those reasons.
Because thank you. Because what I noticed is there is two different forces that are playing together. I can clearly see the energy of are we doing good in a way that we are selling lots and we get the money to finance the project. Can be one way, but can be the other way. This is not about selling a project, it's about creating community. So it's not the fastest that you sell, it's how are you doing the things in a way that you're really creating the conditions to have that community. So I want to share something that we are doing from the company. So again, it is we don't. I think that we don't have the answers, but we keep those questions and we keep trying. No, so how is the way in which we can really engage the right people? And so first, we really work on communication. So if you go to all the communication that we're doing from marketing side, social network, and so on, we are never selling this project as a good investment. So it is impossible that people come to this project because they want to make money. Second, we have a team. We have a sales team made of 8 agents where all they live in Lake Ovilla or they're going to be neighbors. And it's interesting the internal forces playing within each agent in which you want to, on one side, sell, and on the other side, you want to know who is going to be a neighbor. We talk a lot about that, no? Because the sales team is like the membrane, is like the ones that are in the front edge, the guardians of who really is called to this project. So, and at the end, we really believe on diversity and creating inclusion. So we bought many lots a month ago that we call prime lots because we know there is also people willing to be part of this community, but maybe they don't have the money. When I was having a conversation in the work that Harry was facilitating, there was an 18, 19 years guy talking about, and I was so impressed about the awareness and the willingness to be part of this. Obviously, because the parents decided to be part of this, but I was asking myself again, what are we doing to attract 19 years old? So I received a lot of questions, and I talked with a lot of people. I say, you know, Juan, this is awesome, but the only way to be part of this is by ownership. There are other ways of being part of this, and this is something that emerged in a conversation that I had with David Dorn. That they posted that they are in a moment in which they feel just to be brought from the project, that they really feel to be part of this. And I said, I don't have the answers, but I really resonate with the question on what are we doing in order to create the conditions for you to be part of this. So again, this is a co-creation, and from our side, we are bringing everything that we can do, but we know that the answers are coming when we work together. So from our side, we call those lots prime lots, and other lots that we normally were offering those people that are willing to add value to the community. And for that people, we are asking, please send a letter, tell us why are you choosing this project? What is the value that you add into that? And why are you maybe in a financial position that you cannot apply to other lots? And then we have an internal process where we reflect on that and we decide, okay? So just to share a little bit of the strategies that we are applying, but it is something that is really open. So if you have any idea on how we can do better, what we are doing, we are really open to that. Thank you. Woo-hoo.
I learned some new stuff. I hope you do too. How much is this going to cost to build a house? This is the non-working internet. After all the beautiful inspirational talk this morning, kind of heart-centered, right brain, emotional, in the heat of the afternoon, this is the kind of left brain logical. We're not going to go into it, but I'm happy to go through this with anyone. This was what was shown to us by our architect. And here are the key concepts I just want to share from what I've heard. When you're quoted a cost per square foot, and some of you it's cost per square meter, I'll show you the conversion there. You can see it. Everybody views it differently. At home, we don't have big decks outside. It's just not even an issue. The price is the price. Here, our square footage outside equals, I don't know the number, 50% of the inside or something like that. So it's an actual cost that you can budget for at a different cost per square foot. Exterior with some kind of overhang. Interior. And then there's what you might call, like, I don't know what to call it, but like higher quality, and maybe not that the other is lower quality, but different construction standards, different methods, different size of windows. There's a very wide range. So, what was the point I wanted to make? Builders will tell you the cost per square foot of the inside footage, but that's not your total build. And then architects, from what I've seen so far, give you a cost estimate just for their services, not for building, but just for their services based on the whole project using a hypothetical model that they create based on your input that you give. And I'd be happy to talk more about that offline, and I might be wrong about that, but I talked to 5 architects and 4 of the 5 all had the same approach. And it was confusing at first till I saw what they were doing. Oh, that's your fee. Okay, and you derived it this way, but that's not what it's actually going to cost to build because we haven't drawn up the blueprints or bid them out yet. Is that all making sense? And I'm going quick. Anyway, this is just a simple spreadsheet of an example. I think it's view only. I think you could copy it. I haven't thought through the ownership. I think you could just copy the file, paste the numbers, do your own math. The original is kind of locked down so it doesn't get blown up. So that's just a way of coming up with a cost per square foot based on various variables. Different house, maybe the casita's not as fancy, maybe you have a lot of decks, maybe you don't, et cetera, et cetera. So just a back of the envelope kind of calculation. Sorry, was there a... Oh. Driveway is an interesting one. Everybody's driveway is going to be different. Some of you, nothing. Others, fairly elaborate. And I don't know what those costs are yet. Until you do the engineering, you have to just estimate. Okay. There's a tab, and if you're not familiar with Google Sheets, if you look at the very bottom of the screen, it may be hard to read, there are tabs, and it's just like tabs in file folders. This tab is called non-house building costs. All the costs associated with architecture, engineering, permitting, and taxes. So that comes up to a real number. I think I calculated at the bottom, and if you hadn't planned for that, oh geez, it's, all these other costs. So These two spreadsheets, if you spend some time, and hopefully they're pretty user friendly, should get you pretty far along the way to getting a sense of what your project will cost. Including, you can enter the price you pay for your lot, and this house build cost is actually hyperlinked. Well, it doesn't matter because you're not going to. I hyperlinked it, but anyway, you can copy and paste this, or if you want to get access to it and you don't have rights, just let me know. I haven't figured out how to send it to somebody. But it helps you go through what a project would cost. So that's out there.
Super helpful.
I am a curator. You've seen a lot of hard work from a lot of people. I'm just the one standing up here. Okay. You're going to hear tomorrow from the social lab. We heard the why this morning. It was very beautiful. There were some things I heard that resonated with me, and I think we're going to be resonating on the why throughout the weekend in different ways. So if you're not familiar with it, it's good to align with the guiding light. That was a project that was done a few months ago when we were just finding our way and just finding each other. And to make it simple, we said, what's something you can agree to for the next few months? It's not written in stone. It's not like it may go away. It's not going to go away, but we just really wanted to kind of down-regulate the nervous system to say, what's just something good for now, not a magnus opus. So even that itself will maybe get looked at some point in the future. The what, we just took out the link because we don't have the document, but the bylaws will be the big what, and the bylaws describe some kind of HOA structure that will be birthed. And the construction rules are kind of a byproduct of the HOA, even though they were first done by the company. So those are the legal structures under which we'll all be operating. So that's a little bit of the what. Construction rules are in place. They've generated a lot of questions. I think any questions are still welcome. Veronica is the community care manager, and it's the easiest is to send questions to her that are straightforward questions, and she will get you the answer. And then the how is all the stuff we'll talk about tomorrow. But I like this as a simple model because people are like, well, what's your jam down there? I'm like, well, a why, and here's how we're going to do it, and then the what of it is all the details of it. So it's a nice structure. Okay, in case you don't know about all these, I already talked about Telegram. That's the main vehicle. The resource library is the Google Drive folder drive with a bunch of folders. I think meetings right now are a little bit not settled. And what I mean by that is there was a period of time where we had a monthly Rosa gathering and kind of a smoothie with Marcelo, and now there's a little bit of rethinking of exactly what the order is. But is it fair to say that going forward this year there'll probably be a pretty stable calendar of what kind of meetings, and they'll be announced ahead of time, and as always they'll be recorded and archived. But fair. So meetings. And then finally, the calendar is an interesting one. There is a Google Calendar that you can click on, and what you'll see is not very much. Some activities are using it, some aren't. It's not like a full, if you turn to your local newspaper, it's not a full-blown calendar yet. But if any of you are in Lev or have seen their calendar, it's very active with all kinds of stuff. And I imagine, unless somebody has a better way to do calendaring, it's kind of the default. It's not the prettiest, but it's the easiest way to, here's an event and all that. So I expect the calendar will grow over time. I think that's enough for me. Is that helpful?
Thanks.